G'day folks, good morning, good evening and good night. Welcome to another iteration, edition and episode of Paddock Pass.
Okay, he's lost it. It's over.
In the land of the upside down. It's cold. I'm really scared. I haven't seen my pet with last movie in 5 minutes. Oh, sorry. In Australia, again, the tables were turned. Luckily not too far out of proportion. Max Verstappen took his second win of the season and takes a firm stranglehold at the top of the Drivers' Championship, while Ferrari avoided any squabbles and extend their constructors' advantage. As they say though, Rome wasn't built in a day. Luckily for Ribena Racing, their car was built in 30 seconds. The efficient English team and their man KarlsCars scored points once again, their second points finish of the season, a result he quoted as the biggest robbery you'll ever see. Other than my alimony, which I'm still waiting for. Bertha. The success didn't stop there though for the marvellous minnows, as Oscar Piastri came from plumb last to nearing Sebastian Vettel's plums, as he was within a whiff of P13 at the end. Now I'm not great at finishing, and neither are Red Bull Powertrains, as Pierre Gasly suffered an engine issue, another one for Red Bull Powertrains. Christian Horner was quoted this week as saying, "Holy mother of f***ing Krishna f***ing Mary mother my f***ing when I find I'll f***ing slap with my f***ing gargantuan." And that was more noise than the podium celebrations last week, so let's hope for change. Well, with a sprint race just around the corner and plenty of action in waiting, I'll hand you over to commentator for the weekend, KarlsCars. Wait, what?
Cheers, Wheel! Welcome everyone to the Emilia-Romagna de Pizza de Pasta de Pancetta Grand Prix. Plenty of twists and turns once again, just like the last race, even more so for our first sprint weekend of the season. You won't want to miss this. It's time for qualifying. Welcome back, you lanky legends, to a wet qualifying in San Marino. But first we've got to pause the action because there is some more context we need to go through in ASMR. I haven't shown you development for the season yet, so now I am. We've made actually really solid progress so far, hence why we've been doing really well, I think. We're almost on the back of AlphaTauri, for that matter, but McLaren have made even solider progress than us, almost at the fringes of the top of the midfield. Ferrari are running away with things, and Mercedes are nearly catching Red Bull. Red Bull? What am I kidding? More like Deadpool. We also got options to pick a rival, and it asked me specifically, who do I enjoy finishing ahead of the most out of those three? And I chose Lance Stroll, because it's funny, and he's a fraud, and I'm about to absolutely rip his world in half. Shut up, don't you even dare. So now with your consciences cleared, and a driver on nothing but testosterone tablets, we are prepared to go for a first lap in this Imola qualifying, and hopefully, with our dinghy at the helm, we should be able to sail our way through into a great position. Oh no. Oh dear. Oh no! We go for a pirouette for dancing on liquid ice, but we use this lap, it's okay. We fueled up for multiple laps. I know English, I promise. We fueled up for multiple laps, we took a lap to recuperate, and now we're going to be smart. Turn our ERS to none, and we are going to sail through here and gain 9 seconds, and now it's really on. We look to be seriously quick through the chicane, taking lots of, probably too much curb. But anyway, we're getting it all crossed up on the exit as well, but by the time we get to the end of the lap, it's 10.2 seconds improvement, and we are going to cross the line after an absolutely wonderful time for P8 ahead of a Ferrari. And that's an encouraging start, but ladies and gentlemen, we are not done there. We are not done dashing this car through the Italian desert, even though there is absolutely no sand anywhere to be seen. So far, though, it's grim reading. We aren't actually improving on our time. We get a snap of oversteer. This could be a problem, you know. Christicle on a bicycle. We're 2 tenths up going into the hairpin. Fantastic stuff, and we're looking pretty tasty here to claim a solid position very early on in this qualifying set. Piastri's ahead of us. We're being beaten by Croissant. This is a problem. We need to get a jiggy on, and we are doing so, gaining even more time as we head towards Aqua Minerale, living up to its name because there's water on the floor. Wheel Evian bringing the drip to the San Marino Grand Prix. We are 4 tenths up out of the last corner, losing a bit of time on the exit, but that's okay. We're going to cross the line, and we are currently sat in P9. That's nice. And things could get even nicer because the weather is dry outside on the track, if you couldn't tell. And despite people setting times later on, we actually are in P12 as we come on towards the end of the session. Oh my god, Leclerc. What is that last sector? What the fun are not the 5 words I'll be using after this session because I hate everything to do with wet weather driving and wish I had an actual canoe than this car. But anyway, we're going to move on and we're going to enjoy it because we're gaining on our time. George Russell is ahead of us and we're going to gauge ourselves nicely alongside the Mercedes. He's gone. He's gone. Well, it's time for a self-improvement class and a self-motivation class because as we come through the hairpin, we have just gained so much time on the exit. That late apex has proved to be massive in terms of the dividends it is providing us. And as we come through the last corner, we are 2 tenths up on our previous best time. Across the line, we are in P10, and that is fantastical. And if we can keep that up, we're 3 tenths up into the hairpin. Oh my days, ladies and gentlemen, we can actually do this. We are only 700ths off Schumacher, and call me Moses because I'm parting the seas as we carry on through this lap into the next sector. We've lost some time. We have lost some time, but luckily, this second chicane is absolutely lovely. As Tamburello isn't my favourite corner on a track in the wet, that corner is... Hamilton's behind us. What the bloody hell? I've been feeling the pressure. I'm beginning to sweat as I spit out through this microphone. I don't want you to envision that. That's absolutely rank. But we come through the last corner, hopefully trying to gain a bit of time. A slight loss as we come towards the line, but it should be fine. A 3/10 gain, and we are going to come through for a memorable qualifying result of P10. Oh, for God's sake! I actually don't have any anger left in my soul. I just have disappointment. We are P18, and... Oh, f*** off. Of course I have anger. What the f*** was the AI's pace? No, I'm sorry, okay? We were P10. We gained multiple tenths on tenths on tenths. Try saying that with a lisp and 50 times fast, because this is ridiculous. When the AI are gaining a second, and sometimes a second and a half on their last qualifying lap, that's not new PB. That is grossly overused LSD. But no matter, because while we are 18th and 19th, the actual qualifying is tomorrow. Let's go for the sprint. Sprint time, ladies and gentlemen, at the San Marino Grand Prix. And it is an absolutely scorching start. We have bossed Daniel Ricciardo, Zhou, and Vettel off the line, which is fantastic. That gap down the inside of Tsunoda's looking pretty tasty. And you don't want to be caught lacking twice on that one. And the same can be said for Magnussen as we try and round him to the inside of the third corner. He's just turned into us. Exactly the same problem we had with Alonso at Saudi Arabia. We pushed him off the track because he got stuck to our car, and now Vettel's on the offensive. More contact, and I'm frantically checking the damage indicator to make sure that nothing has happened, but we don't need to anymore because, oh, that is sumptuous. Magnussen, what are you doing, fella? Do you think you're all that, yeah? Well, guess what? The new boss is in town. Round the outside of Piratella. I think this is Piratella. I'll have to quote you on that. Anyway, vehicle condition, we're absolutely fine. Magnussen going for the attack into mineral water. We say no. Give him sparkling water. And he's sick everywhere because he has maintained P14, which is not where he'd want to be. And we are P13 and hoping for more as we go through the chicane. We are closing into the back of Mick Schumacher now and hoping that we can lunch up that slipstream. We have the eating capabilities of a minus 95-year-old, so we haven't lunched any slipstream. In fact, he's got away significantly. Through the last 2 corners, we did prove to have some decent grip, and our race pace is proving to be absolutely superb, unlike our qualifying pace, where the AI are a bunch of cheating f***heads. Enough with the profanities, though. We have bigger fish to fry, especially in this climate, and we are going to try our very level best to try and keep up with the likes of Mick Schumacher and Esteban Ocon. Our pace doesn't seem too bad. And as we go through this third corner, They're getting away. Magnussen is all over the back of us. That's terrible as he goes to the inside of the chicane at Villeneuve. He doesn't get it done. And that's brilliant news because now we can set our sights forward on Schumacher. Lap 3, I mean, nothing's interesting's really happened. You know, I wish something would happen. What's this? Oh my goodness. Lando Norris has bottled it. He spun off only on lap 3 of this sprint race. And already there are cracks beginning to show in some of the drivers' mentalities and talent. We have managed to keep it on the road, but the McLaren driver has spooned it. And that's one more position. We have a few more to conquer before we can consider getting some points in this sprint race. Let's see what we can do.
No. Nothing.
Nothing happened for the rest of the sprint race. I don't know what you were expecting, despite the fact you've seen the likes of Tiamat Marduk and Arav have absolutely scintillating sprint races. We have been slapped in the face by a salmon, and it's been a car crash. In fact, the only thing that happened that was vaguely interesting was Hamilton bottling it under pressure on the very last lap of the race. But we weren't close enough to do anything, and as a result, the best we can manage is P12, as Charles Leclerc wins for Ferrari, a 1-2 in the sprint race. The Tifosi are going absolutely mental all over the place. The needles are going everywhere in the grandstand. I probably shouldn't say that, actually. I don't like the lads. Despite the Tifosi's ketamanic celebrations, we're going to cross the line and get P12. It's not points, but it's not bad.
Okay, pick up rubber and bring it home.
A Ferrari 1-2 in the sprint race. Things you love to see, especially in Imola. But for us, it's a slightly neutered race. We take P12. You know the story of Pinocchio? You know the boy whose nose grows really long when he lies? Oscar is in fact that very puppet, because, you know, he promised me good race pace, and he's P19, exactly where he started behind the Williams. His nose is now the size of the Great Wall of China. What the f***ing It's P12 for the sprint race, like I was going to say. That does determine our grid position for tomorrow, and that is good news, because with that in mind, we are in fact 6 positions better off than we were before, and based on the changeable conditions for the race, it's going from dry to wet running. So, our dry pace is better than our wet pace. So with a good start, and hopefully some mega testosterone surging through our gluteuses, we are going to be rapid as can be. And then hopefully, even though our wet weather pace wasn't the greatest today, we should be able to ascertain a good position and maybe some points tomorrow. Because while there are small points in the sprint race, the big points come in the actual race. It is time for the Emilia Romagna de Pizza de Pasta de Pancetta de Pizza Grand Prix.
Hello there and welcome back to Imola, home circuit of the Scuderia Ferrari. We expect to see a lot of local supporters in red today. They've all turned out for what we have every expectation will be a sensational event here at the Emilia Romagna Grand Prix. Before we begin, let's take a quick look at the grid lineup for today's race. Fantastic effort from Charles Leclerc yesterday, and it's put him on pole. And starting next to them is George Russell. Looking down the rest of the grid, we have Verstappen, Perez, Valtteri Bottas, and Fernando Alonso. Hamilton, Gasly, Ocon, and Mick Schumacher. Bombshell, Sainz, Kevin Magnussen, and Tsunoda. Vettel, Ricciardo, Guan Yu Zhou, and Oscar Piastri. Stroll, Norris, Albon, and Nicholas Latifi. It's almost time for those 5 red lights to go out then. Let's see who can prevail today.
What the What? Okay, no extra words from Anthony Davidson or Natalie Pinkeye. Moving on, let's look at the race strategy for the San Marino Grand Prix. It is a one-stop, once again, mediums onto hards, but with that rain turning up pretty much halfway through the race, according to the forecast, just the mediums should be more than enough to take us to that crossover point and hopefully give us a good position as we focus on warming up our tyres, ready for the grid. And we are on the grass. This isn't WRC. Lights out, and we are underway for the Emilia Romagna Grand Prix. and it is an absolutely scintillating start, ladies and gentlemen, alongside the Alpine of Esteban Ocon already. Carlos Sainz, but what on earth was that? Swipes like that only belong on Tinder, but we're going through the first corner, still alongside the Alpine. We squeeze him out, and that's P10 already. We have already invented our way into the points. Not sure why I said invented. It's a Carlos Sainz thing, apparently. No damage as the Alpine hits us, and we go and bonk another Alpine. It's a pretty shocking start, but luckily no damage has been incurred from any of those shenanigans. Alonso getting frisky with the Haas of Mick Schumacher. I can't speak. What is going on? Never mind, we press on.
Just like the cherries, and I know cherry flavoured Ribena, get it now.
We get beached onto the curb though, and that's not such a great thing, as we now lose time to the Alpine ahead. He's starting on hards, both Alpines on hards, so they're suspecting the rain might come a bit later. Who knows? I suspect they're wrong, and they're stupid. As we move on to the end of the lap, we have to snap and save the car. Carlos Sainz is behind us. Okay, that is a problem. He is absolutely lobbying our slipstream to Kingdom Come, and all of a sudden, he stopped. Well, unfortunately, because of his incompetence, we're going to have to defend hard into turn number 1. We squeeze him out, bounce over the curbs like Bushy the skipped kangaroo. I've done it the wrong way around. I've actually done it the wrong way. I'm an idiot. Never mind about Bushy, because we have some work to do to get on top of Alonso's tushy. We need to get a move on, basically, and through the hairpin, as you can see, going out slightly wide, but getting that late apex. Our car has gripped pretty well round here, all things considered, and now we just need to use the pace to make sure we can get a good result in this race. Sainz is going to be harrying and harrying and harrying all the way through this lap, as he's just a couple of tenths behind us, going through Aqua Minerale. There is no water on the track, so unfortunately, it is a dried up reservoir, but we do maintain P10. Sainz can't actually get anywhere near us currently. Where the hell has this lease of life come from? Through the chicane, my favourite part of the track, we gain a couple of tenths on the Alpine. Oh my god, that voice crack. More importantly though, it's time to defend from the Ferrari. Can we keep this position and the points in this race? It's not gone well. We've been chorizoed. Carlos is through. But ladies and gentlemen, let me remind you, my Cortex is the size of Uranus, and you can stop with that shitty child joke now, because Sainz is in that fast Ferrari, so he is going to be harrying the rest of the people ahead, the faster cars, as the Spaniards make contact, and suddenly we are invited into the fray. The saucy Spaniards getting together. Let's add a bit of English eloquence into the fray as we open DRS. Deploy ERS for a little bit, but not too much, because we're going to save it for the end of the straight where we can get those extra few miles per hour. We swap to the inside. Dummy Alonso. There's a yellow flag, and Perez is off the track. And suddenly, we're back into the points. In shock, though, we hit the outside curb. We're dancing on ice again, and Alonso, just quite frankly, tangos his way around us. It's an absolutely shocker from us. But never mind. We are still in the points thanks to Perez's sudden demise. And we now just have to keep chipping away at this result. Alonso on hards is not getting away. Our tyres are hardly wearing. And with DRS now open, we are gobbling that slipstream. We didn't get past. I'll be honest, I recorded this before I went on holiday, and I don't remember. Despite the 67 abscesses inside my brain, through the chicane, we've caught up to Alonso big time. And, oh, good lord, look who it is. It's our best friend, Kevin Magnussen. And he's now joined the party because we've been getting held up by Alonso. And it's thanks to the time we lost after Perez, quite frankly, spooked us into the Adams family once again. But that's okay. DRS is open. We are gobbling it up. And McLaren's had a stinker behind. But we are a big brain thinker. And we are lobbying the slipstream. We are gobbling like a hungry turkey. And into turn one, we're nowhere near. There was no way that was ever going to happen. We've gone slightly wide as well. And that's opened the door to Magnussen potentially having a go. And he's not going to do it. We do keep our position for now. On to lap 7 now, and I'll be honest, it's not gone particularly to plan. We've been fast in all the wrong places. Alonso's been keeping us in check through the first sector and whatnot. But what's this? Pierre Gasly's joined the fight. He hasn't had the pace in the AlphaTauri. We're almost as fast as them in terms of car pace, bearing in mind. So the Alpine, which is a lot faster, is pulling us along and could get up close and personal with the Frenchman, which is a saucy sentence in itself. But we'll add even more chili sauce to that and really spice things up if those two get too close. So hopefully we can get close and personal. Oh dear God, we've gone wider than Eddie Hall. It's an absolute mare, but Eddie Hall's a cool guy, by the way. I'm not saying he's fat. He was the world's strongest man. He's well built. Let me just make it quite clear. We'll call him well built. Stop booing. Let's try and add a bit of spook factor now, because we're on to lap number 9. And as you all know, number 9 is a great order. And hopefully on this order, we can have a nice order of P8 in this race. If these two get it catastrophically wrong, Alonso is closer than he's ever been to Pierre Gasly. If those two fight very hard into Tamburello, we could see our chances fall into our hands and P8 come into play as Alonso dives to the inside of Gasly into turn number 1, and he's forced Gasly wide. Gasly's off the track, into the gravel, and he's going to have to wait for absolutely everyone to come back on. Meanwhile, to the outside of Alonso we go, round the outside into the Villeneuve chicane. P8, and that's absolutely fantastic news. Our prayers to Allah, Vishnu, Morgan Freeman and all the powers that be have worked. We remain P8, and now Magnussen is getting ahead of Alonso and following us through into lap number 11. No, he isn't! Magnussen's got it horrifically wrong as well, and it is karma for all of the shit he put me through during Saturday's sprint. And he deserves it, quite frankly, because he's a knobhead. I don't really mince my words when it comes to My Team episodes, do I? But anyway, on to lap number 12. As you can see, the gap to Schumacher, 4 seconds. The gap to Alonso, over a second. We broke out of his DRS pretty quickly once we overtook him. So we've had the pace over the Alpine on hards. On the Haas on mediums, though, it's been a bit of a different story. Well, to be honest, not in a bad way. We've had the same pace. The gap has remained at 4 seconds for a number of laps now. And that's okay, because that is affirmation of our incredible work as a team. We've built this car in 12.4 seconds, and we have shown the grid that it isn't impossible to build a Formula 1 car in a matter of moments. It isn't impossible to dip a wheel in the gravel in your 4th ever race and show why you're a complete fruitcake at all times. However, while at times it has been sour, the result has always been sweet.
Apart from the first race, but that's because Guan Yu Zhou is an overweight spork.
Anyway, as we go through the left-hander, there's a yellow flag up ahead. No way. Carlos Sainz, after all the hard work he's done, he's out of the San Marino Grand Prix. Ferrari, who were triumphant on Saturday, have a result that's now teamed with turmoil. One of their cars has gone kaput. Not even halfway into this race, Sainz, who looks so good to probably get a podium in this race, now is nowhere near in just lap 13 of the San Marino Grand Prix. We are up to P7, and there is nothing, and I mean nothing, that could possibly go wrong. It's gone wrong! It's raining, and in changeable conditions, the AI are just stupidly quick. Like, why? Codemasters, fix your game. But we're going to come into the pit lane, and we are going to perform the pit stop that is insane, in the membrane. We're going to go onto the intermediate tyres, and this time, and I mean this time, we are looking for an optimal pit stop. Can we do it? Yes! Optimal pit stop. And as long as there are no mistakes, 2.5 seconds. Brilliant from the team. And finally, an optimal pit stop in this career. It's the small victories, ladies and gentlemen. Honestly, I shouldn't have even got points last race. So to be even within a striking distance of points in this race is a plus point. Please stick with me on this one. Onto the track, onto new intermediates, and immediately there is a roadblock in the way. And it's obviously Nicholas Latifi, because who else would it be in this series, apparently? He's on mediums for whatever reason. He's a roadblock normally, but this time he's moving like a koala with excess chlamydia. Alonso's going for a move. We've blocked that opportunity off very quickly, and Latifi is going to be easy prey for us. We go round the outside, swoop round. We actually make contact with his rear right. Somehow don't get damaged, but we swoop round like a bald eagle, and we take P7 once again. And hopefully we can now exercise some good pace on these intermediate tyres, because like I said, it's not been our strong point, the wet weather. You saw it in the sprint race yesterday. But as we go through this left-hander, as you can see, the gap to Alonso is actually alright. We're over a second ahead, and the gap to Schumacher remains about the same as it was at our pit stop. So, the pace isn't actually that bad so far, and we can take this positivity forward, and even, wait, what, Hamilton? No way! Hamilton pit too late, and we're past! We have passed the Mercedes on merit! There is no way! This is an unbelievable showing from us. We could be on for some solid points. P6, as we're sliding up. This is actually dancing on ice. The judges are not going to be happy with that performance. our humiliation aside, onto lap number 18, and we have a problem. And no, it's not Wheel Evian's alimony. We're trying to get that sorted out. But it's the fact that Alonso has caught up to us big time. And the reason for that is because the rain has started getting heavier. And for whatever reason, unbeknownst to man, alien, and all beings besides, the AI are stupidly quick in these conditions. Even when the track is getting worse, even when they should be struggling, they somehow have the traction of a cheetah on tarmac. Essentially, it's another problem that Codemasters need to fix as we go through mineral water, living up to it that Perez has got past Sonoda. Perez is into P8. That could be a problem, but we have bigger fish to fry other than a Mexican. And we have a Spaniard to fry because Perez is nowhere near us and he's washed. So, through the chicane, do we gain time on Alonso? Yes, we do. And we need to keep this pace. We need to keep this pace up in order to maintain our position currently because it's not good enough. Schumacher has pulled out a hell of a gap onto us as we are onto the end of lap number 20 out of 32 in what feels like the longest race I've ever done. And that's because it probably is the longest race I've ever done because I haven't done Singapore in the rain yet. Anyway, halfway onto lap 21, Alonso's still all over the back of us and Perez has joined the fray as well. So, now it gets a bit more tasty, because as long as we can keep Alonso behind, which we are doing in all the right places this time, Perez... Wait, what? George Russell is out of this race? No way. Another Mercedes power unit. It was Stroll last race, and now the Mercedes Works team are in the wars. George Russell, who was P3 and on for an almost certain podium, is out of the San Marino Grand Prix. And now, ladies and gentlemen, let me tell you, this is where it gets tasty. We are going to be up into P5 in this race. 10 points, and let me tell you something. For those of you that are mathematicians, that is 10 times as good as 10th place. And we really do have the potential to pull off something special. If Alonso can keep Perez behind, and I can keep both of them behind, this could be an absolute masterclass in wheel.
So let's find out.
We made it through the whole lap with no consequence whatsoever. And let me tell you, onto lap 24, it's looking promised. Perez is through.
Perez is through. And you can stop looking surprised right now because you always knew that was going to happen.
No matter, we move on. Our fight was not with Perez now. It's with Alonso and Hamilton behind. Perez gapped us by 1.6 seconds, by the way, which in wet conditions, no matter what the car is absolutely ridiculous. I wasn't driving particularly badly either, and I'm not making excuses, even though it sounds like I'm making excuses, but the point is, the AI are ridiculous, and now Alonso is all over the back of us. We're sliding about like Bambi on ice, and it's a terrible time. Alonso's got a better exit. No, he hasn't. We've absolutely scorched him there, and him and Hamilton are now going to be in the wars as we head down the start-finish curve towards turn number 1 at Tamburello once again on lap 26 of the Imola Grand Prix. Into turn number 1, Hamilton alongside Alonso. They're fighting, and that means we can scamper away just that little bit more. Alonso squeezes Hamilton out and does stay ahead on this lap. Onto lap 26, and onto lap 27, I mean, we don't have the pace, but hopefully those two can keep fighting and fighting.
They're currently 17th place, and so the difference is 26.5 seconds. And the time last lap was a 1:28.2.
Oh, Lance Stroll.
Let's be honest, Lego Head never stood a chance.
He thought he could keep up in P17, but we have the best juices in this universe. And now, while it's a dollar fare for the Aston Martin, the track is gushing with excitement at the prospect of this three-way battle. Myself, Alonso, and Hamilton, with 9 world championships between us, are interlocked in a battle for the ages as we are sliding out of the hairpin. Alonso looking ever more menacing as we go through the left-hander towards mineral water. And he's going to try and go for a move. There he is, down the inside, but we throw a bottle of sparkling water in his direction and say, no way, Jose, even though his name is Fernando. And we keep P6. We head up towards the chicane. Perez has gapped us by 10 seconds already, can I just add?
Which is what 2CB did he get?
I wish I had some 2CB to have a more positive outlook on life, because we just don't have any pace whatsoever as the rain gets heavier here in Imola. Alonso has actually fallen back quite a bit. Again, the chicane is our friend. We are clipping those curbs to no end. The AI are too scared to get anywhere near throwing the balance off. Hamilton's gone for a move again. No way. Those two fighting once again as we go on to lap number 29. And Hamilton looks like he's got ahead, but they are still side by side. It looks like, yes, Alonso goes back up to P7 as we go through onto lap number 29, I think it is, in this race. Hamilton still chopping and changing positions with Fernando. Alonso isn't going to stay ahead. Hamilton keeps ahead through the first few corners. No, Alonso gets the position back. We head up towards the Villeneuve chicane. They are 2 seconds behind. We have been absolutely blessed with that margin, and Alonso does keep ahead of the Mercedes, which is absolutely great news indeed. We are sliding everywhere. They are 2 seconds behind still as we are on lap 30.
Welcome to a nice tranquil day out in Imola for these last 3 laps, ladies and gents.
Stop right there, sister! It's time to get ourselves into combat with the Mercedes of Lewis Hamilton. We could defend down this straight and represent ourselves in the greatest...
Okay, it's not gone well.
Hamilton might make a mistake into turn 1, and this could mean we regain our P6 position as we... Oh, for f***'s sake, man. So it'll be P7 in this Emilia-Romagna di Pista Grand Prix, which is fine. Or will it be P7? Alonso's gone for a move. We were bad off the chicane, and he turns into us. So just like Jeddah, Alonso has turned into us. We can't get unstuck off his side pod for whatever reason. And now, this race got even more exciting for you folks watching at home. Or in my case, my rageometer was building. And so we're going to employ some cunning tactics. Tsunoda and Alonso are fighting, so we will block Alonso and Tsunoda will have the run into turn 1. And Tsunoda responded to this with good grace. Oh no, he didn't. He turned into us as well. And at this point, I was at the end of my tether. That's 4 times in 4 races the AI have turned into me like I wasn't even there. Actually, no, 5 times, because Norris did it at Australia as well in a bit I didn't show you. Charles Leclerc's already won the Emilia-Romagna Grand Prix. The Tifosi have something they can cheer about, which is fantastic for them. But in my case, I'm going to start defending for my life and deliberately slowing them up, because I just had enough. I was completely I was so enraged that the AI were that aggressive. Like, I had my car purposely damaged into this left corner. I think it's Piratella. Alonso's been, I was going to say cocked off. I don't think that's safe. Let's gloss over that, though. Our position is in jeopardy as we go into Acqua Minerale. And where is my teammate? Oh my god, my teammate's in the points. Oh my god, he's P10. There's no way. I deliberately backed these guys up to try and get him some points as well, because I didn't think he was there. I knew he was in a train. We're going to shut the door on Alonso like he wasn't there, just like he did to us. Karma is a bitch, and so is my dog. I'm not a bitch. I just provide balance into this universe. And we have done just that. But oh my goodness me. Oscar, you are a living legend, my friend. P10, and suddenly we are going to come across the line where, again, we shouldn't have even got close to the fringes of points, but we have done the impossible. Ribena Racing, double points!
And that's the end of the race. We'll see you in Parc Ferme.
Ferrari are at it again. An excellent performance at today's Grand Prix, and they're certainly a team that know what they're doing out there.
What? Wait. They won the race in Austria? Oh.
Despite episode 2 aging like spoilt milk, Charles Leclerc wins, and Ferrari fans are absolutely filled to the brim with jubilation once again. And do you remember the race where it was dry the whole way through, and everyone decided to pit onto intermediates for no reason? That was a great race, wasn't it? Araver celebrates with the Ferrari team. I'm pretty sure he switches teams every race depending on who wins. Glory hunting prick. But anyway, Charles Leclerc wins. Max Verstappen not too far off his heels. And believe it or not, Big Bunda Valtteri Bottas came 3rd in that race. And that means Alfa Romeo have a massive haul of constructors' points. But that's not important, because I want to congratulate Oscar Piastri. Let's just give him a round of applause, everyone. What an absolute champion. After a pretty disappointing sprint race from both sides of the garage, this is the perfect way to bounce back on the Sunday. Our pace wasn't great in the wet, but we can happily hold our heads high because we have scored 6 points and 1 point. And for those of you that are good at maths, that is 9 points in total. It makes Schumacher P4 as well. A great result for the young German. He got a great result in the sprint race as well, so a double points finish this weekend for Mick Schumacher. Haas worked their way up the constructors as a result. Alfa Romeo, I'm pretty sure, have overtaken us. So,
while it is a great day out, Oscar, I just need to talk about Oscar again. I'm so shocked. I don't know how he's done it. I don't even think he had a particularly good start. He started P18 and has worked his way to P10. Of course, that's owing to retirements from Sainz and Russell, 2 big contenders out before the race had even reached a climactic stanza. But a great result from Oscar. He had the pace and he coped brilliantly with the pressure. And it shows. His first point of the season, much more deserved than the 6 points we got. We were and our pace was just, I can't even describe it. We deserve to be further towards Uzbekistan than the points this race. We can't be being beaten by the teams like that on a constant basis. But there is no reason why we can't try and rectify that in the first ever Miami Grand Prix next time out. Believe me, you won't want to miss it. Until that time arrives, I bid you all a good night. Thank you so much for watching this episode of F1 22, my team. If you did enjoy, please leave a like on the video and also subscribe. By the way, can I just say, thank you so much for the support on episode 3. I don't know what the hell happened, and I don't know how it gained so much traction. Maybe Wheel Evian is a cheat code, I don't know, but honestly, I'm so grateful to every single one of you that watched the video for the support it got. Thank you, deeply, from the bottom of my heart. I am beyond grateful, and you have no idea how much it means to me. So, thanks for the support. Hopefully, long may it continue. Slap that bell nice and hard. Just how I like it. My team videos are in the top right in a playlist. Please go and check out the rest of the videos if you haven't already. But once again, thank you for watching. And until next time, I'll see you soon. Goodbye.